Hello everyone and welcome again. Today I am baking croissants and this is going to be on yeast dough and they're going to be filled with poppy seed filling, and in Polish we call those Rogaliki, Drożdżowe z Makiem. So let me begin. First thing is we're going to need sifted flour, 600 grams. Here I have my granulated white sugar and I have 70 grams. I have 3 eggs, but I'm just gonna use the egg yolks. And then the whites I'm gonna use to spread on the top once they're baked. I have about 9 grams of vanilla sugar in here, which I'm gonna use. It's totally optional if you don't want it. As far as the yeast, I'm using dry yeast today, and this is 10 grams. And here I have salt, half a teaspoon of salt. Here I have 80 grams of melted unsalted butter and 300 milliliters of milk. And the milk has to be warmed, so I'm gonna place it in a microwave and just make it warm. Don't boil or don't cook it. Also, I have here in addition, I have some powdered sugar here for the glaze or the icing on the top once they bake. And I'll probably add like a teaspoon of lemon juice to it or water. And also I have some almonds here, which I'll sprinkle on top once they bake. So let me begin. First of all, I'm using a mixer. You can also do this by hand. I'm gonna start out by placing my flour into the bowl. And there goes my vanilla. Here's the salt. And of course the dry yeast. I'm just gonna give it a stir. And also don't forget to add the sugar in. So first let me begin by separating the eggs. So now I'm gonna combine the wet ingredients. So I warmed up my milk. I'm gonna add to it the butter. And I'm gonna add the egg yolks. And now we're gonna add this to the flour mixture. So let me turn on the machine. And now slowly going to add the wet to the dry. Let's mix this for about 10 minutes until it's formed into a nice dough, a ball that doesn't stick to our hands. So my dough has been in here for about 10 minutes. And as you can tell now, this dough doesn't stick to my hands. So this is the right consistency. I'm just going to place a little bit of flour so that I can form this into another ball, and we'll let it rise now. So now I'm gonna leave it in the same bowl and let it rise, but first is I need to cover this and put it in a warm place for about 1 hour. It's gonna double its size, so probably like up to here, and then we're gonna form the little crescents. So the dough has been rising now for a little bit over an hour, and as you can tell, it has doubled its volume. So I'm gonna get some flour, put it on the board, and cut this into 4 pieces. Shouldn't really stick to your hand, but it just may a little bit. So I'm gonna put some flour here, and we may just have to knead this dough a little bit. And now I'm gonna cut it into 4 equal pieces. So let's place the rest in the bowl and cover it up so it does not dry up. And we're gonna roll this one out. Into a circular pattern. Make sure that you have the parchment paper lined cookie sheet ready for when you do roll them. And I just cut this usually like in half. This is not much of a circle, but it'll do. And then once more, and then again like that. I'm gonna take the poppy seed filling and about a teaspoon of the filling and try to put it more in the center. And now we're just gonna roll this, making sure that the corners are sealed. go. And we're just gonna place it on the cookie sheet. Let it rise again for about 30 minutes once all these are done. And of course bake them at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 20 minutes until they brown. And this is what they look like. I'm just gonna take this bigger side here and roll the bigger side. So if it's not an even circle, then you can just do that as well. Seal the corners. And there it goes. This is the bigger end. Should look something like this. And seal the corners. And there's the last one on this. So I'm gonna cover these up now and let them rise again a little bit. Then we're gonna put the egg white on it, spread it, and bake it. And we do the same with the remaining dough. And the same thing. So roll it from the biggest part, from the widest part. Seal your corners and keep rolling as you pull on this front end. I find that it's the easiest that way. And then seal again. So it looks somewhat like this. And then we place it on the cookie sheet to rise again. So I was able to make 32 of the croissants. And now with the remaining egg white, I'm going to spread it a little bit on the top. Now these have been rising a little bit longer, like half an hour. And these are still rising, but I can put the egg white on the top. So I'm gonna use a brush and just gently spread the egg white. And in the meantime, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And I know that oven temperatures do vary, so you may want to check it. In about 15 minutes, they should be done. And once they're baked, I'm gonna put the glaze on them, powdered sugar, and a little bit of the almonds. These are silvered almonds. And this is a very quick recipe. It's just that the waiting times for the yeast may be different depending on what yeast you use. So probably the best option is to get the fresh yeast. I just didn't have any, so I used the active yeast. And those take a little bit longer than those quick ones, instant ones. So let me put this one in the oven, 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes. And the croissants, the first tray of croissants is now ready. So I'm gonna take those out and place them on a rack. So I placed some of them on the rack, and I made a glaze from the powdered sugar and the lemon. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on it. And place the almonds while this is still wet. Now just waiting for the other batch. And this is the other batch. So I'm gonna wait a little bit till they cool. And I think I'm gonna just use powdered sugar on them. And that's the cut one. So if you like this recipe, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.